Hello, you are welcome to our childcare series. Now, whether you are a parent, you are a teacher, you're a caregiver, you play a very powerful role in shaping how children understand themselves and the world around them. Today, we'll be diving into how to build self-awareness in children. Now, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your emotion, your feelings, your thoughts, your values, and your behavior. You need to understand all that. And for children, it means understanding how they feel. I'm upset. They understand how they feel. They name their emotion, their feelings at that particular time. And they understand the why. I'm not feeling comfortable. What am I feeling right now? I'm upset. Why? Why am I upset? So they need to understand that. In addition to that, it also falls under the self-awareness, also fall under the category of children understanding their strengths, their weaknesses, and the areas they need to work upon. We are human. So each and every one of us, we have strengths, we have weaknesses, we also have areas we need to work upon. Nobody's perfect. We are all in the process of becoming. So children need to understand that. So still under that, they need to also recognize how their actions, their decisions affect others. They need to come to the awareness that, okay, when you take a particular decision, sometimes it's not just for you. Other people will be affected by that. So they need to understand that, okay, before taking any decision, you need to ask yourself, how is this going to impact on me? And how is it going to impact on the people around me? So that it's the foundation of emotional intelligence. And of course, it helps children to build empathy, resilience, and also help them to make better decisions. It helps them in decision-making skills. All right, so children need to know who they are, because when they do, they learn to handle stress better. Whether we like it or not, children also face stress. I remember something that happened several years ago. I think probably about 7 years or thereabout. When my little girl, she was about, she wasn't up to 3. We just got back. I just got back from, it's more than 8 years. I just got back from work. It was a fasting period, so I was really tired. So the first thing I did, I just lay down, So she came beside, she also lay down beside me. So I told her, I said, please go and call me. I was really tired. I said, go and call your brother for me. So the next thing, she just raised up her head. And what she said, I'm stressed out. People are stressing me. You are stressing me. And of course, you probably want to ask me, what don't you understand by that? Of course, I guess she meant that, what she meant was, come on, lady, woman, mommy, you are tired. And I'm equally tired. You just got back from work. Me also just got back from work, I guess. So one thing about that, so we're still looking at self-awareness. So it helps children to know who they are. It helps them to handle stress. Because when children know who they are, when they know who they are, when they know their strengths, when they know their weaknesses, when they know the areas they need to work upon, this would in turn help them to handle stress better. But we all go through stress, including them. It will help them to handle stress better. It will help them to handle their emotion better. It will help them to understand that, look, emotions are real, they are there. But when things happen, you don't just react, you respond. When we talk about reacting has to do with you taking action without thinking. By responding it, you've thought it through, you've weighed it, and you know that, okay, this is the thing. If I do this, this is going to be the outcome. So you think things through. So it helps them to handle stress better. It helps them to communicate better. Instead of shutting down, they will tend to, voice out the way they feel. But in voicing it out, they voice it out in a very respectful way. Because there are different types of, there are different ways of, expressing yourself. Some people could express themselves in a very rude way. But there are ways you could express yourself, respect your heart, your feelings in a very respectful way. So to help them to communicate better and, communicate more effectively. It will also, if they know who they are, it will also help them build stronger relationships, either now or even in the future. And of course, self-awareness, excuse me, self-awareness also helps children to become more confident. Yeah, you see that self-confidence, let's leave it. It's another this topic. Likewise, independence is another this topic. So it's going to help children to, to become more independent and also to be more confident. So when we're talking about self-awareness, it's not just about emotional health. It's about preparing them for the future. Who else can handle or move into, or who else can handle the future better than someone who's prepared for it, right? Someone who's prepared. So it will help them to prepare them for their future. It will also help them to, navigate peer pressure. Whether we believe it or not, peer pressure is something that is there. It's a reality. It's there. So it will help children to handle peer pressure, to help them to handle academic challenge when they're having issues at work, and when they're handling issues in the academics, to help them. And of course, it also prepare them for leadership roles in the future, right? So let's quickly look at how to build self-awareness in children. The first thing is for you to model it to yourself. As someone who wants to help children with their self-awareness, you must model it yourself. Children learn by watching. It's not necessarily what we say. They learn by watching us, by observing us. So what do we do here? Talk openly about your emotions. Talk openly about it. How you feel. And also talk about your decision making, that, okay, I felt like this. And this is what I'm feeling at this particular time. And I think I need to do this, and make them understand why you do that. You need to model it to children. Now, this would directly or indirectly teach children that emotions are normal. Emotions are normal and they are manageable. They are real, but they are not manageable. Okay, you're upset. Come on, something happened, you're upset. It's normal, but you can manage it. So in addition to modeling it yourself, you need to create a safe space for expression. Let children express themselves without judgment. Let them feel free to express themselves. The only thing you probably need to teach them is to learn to express themselves, to learn to express themselves in a very respectable manner. You don't talk just anyhow. Knowing fully well that, or you could also know fully well that whatever it is you say or you do can also affect others. So you teach them to express themselves, but in expressing themselves, don't be judgmental. Ask them what's going on with you. What happened? How do you feel? Maybe something happened. You could ask them, how did that happen? What happened? How did you feel? What do you think actually happened here? Ask them questions. So encourage them to also name their emotion. Whether they are sad, they are happy, they are proud. you could also teach them this. You see, there's one thing I need to say here. You see, when we see children that probably behave well, children that are in the children that they talk boldly, they know how to undo their emotions and all that. Things we just like generally in children. Can I say this? It's not magic. Somebody, somewhere, an adult was intentional about teaching those children. So these things I'm talking about, all these things I'm talking about, and the other things I'll probably still mention, they're not just a piece of cake. We must be intentional. We must work it out. We must help them. So having said that, another thing, it's we need to also teach children to take time out to reflect. Kids need to teach them that sometimes you just shut down and reflect and then meditate. In reflecting, you get to understand yourself better. It will also help them to, to regulate their emotion and also help them to build their mind. So we need to teach them how to take time out to think. They must learn to think and reflect. Then also, you need to also help children to understand that, look, struggle is real. What I mean struggle, stress is real. At times, the emotions you are feeling, it might not be something you are proud of. It's real, but there's a way you can work on yourself to get better at it. Let them know that. So they will not be ashamed to say what they feel at a particular time. Not to acknowledge it, to say, oh, anger seems to be a problem. It seems to be a problem. I'm sad. It's a problem. Let them know that these things are real. But it can be worked upon. So in addition to reflecting, meditating, you could also tell them that, look, that's for the older children, teach them how to journal. If there's something I learned right from childhood, is to journal, is to write things down. It has really helped me. So help children to write down their thoughts. This would also help them process their emotions and take time to reflect on their experiences. These are real things, These are real things. Also teach them. You should also help with constructive feedback. See, the key word there is constructive feedback. This would encourage a reflection and accountability without feeling ashamed. Let them know that, okay, this maybe they come around to say this is what's going on around me, this is what's going on around me. You tell them, okay, these are the things I probably observe, and these are the things I think might help you. Give them, let it be constructive. Don't be quick to condemn. Don't be quick to just judge. You just judge them and all that. So self-awareness, building self-awareness in children, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's not something we say, okay, I've gotten it. It's a journey. It's a process. It's not like a checklist. Okay, you tick it all. I'm all good. I don't need to work on myself anymore. We need to keep working on ourselves. So it takes patience, consistency, and compassion. But then the results, they are worth it. A child who knows who he or she is better equipped to thrive in every area of life. So whether you are a parent, you are into teaching, you are a caregiver, remember, every moment of connection is a chance to build self-awareness in children. So I'll conclude by saying, let's build children who are not just smart, but who are emotionally wise.